Hey guys, this is Wellington from the Jump to Start Racing crew. Before we start, I want to make sure to tell you to destroy that like button and to make sure to hit subscribe to be up to date with our episodes and clips. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle on both platforms is @JumpTheStartF1. See you there. Jump into the news. Prior to the race, Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes agreed to a 2-year contract extension. Ruben, who helped negotiate the whole thing, he knew the salary range. What? How did you know the salary?
It's a cap. Are they going to give him less money than 30?
No. So $30 million a year,
Shocking.
30 million pounds a year, right?
Whatever it is. But he's
Whatever
getting 30.
the denomination is. But it's a 2-year extension. Shocking, right?
Wasn't expecting that.
Crazy.
At all.
How would they? What do you think?
Well, listen, man. We all knew that was going to happen. We just didn't know how long he wanted to sign. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to sign for 2 years.
No?
No, I thought he was going to do another 1-year contract.
Yeah, his last 2 deals were 1-year deals, right?
Yeah. Well, especially considering that it seemed like the last negotiation was very contentious, and he didn't get everything that he wanted. So that's why he only signed 1 year. So the 2 years was a surprise, but it wasn't a total shocker. I mean, obviously I was being sarcastic, but the 2 years was a surprise, but not kind of surprised, because if you're going to keep a driver for 2 years, it's definitely going to be Lewis Hamilton. Now, this sets up for who's going to be in the second seat for the next 2 years at Mercedes.
Well, I think it's going to be George Russell, but
I don't think so.
No?
You don't think it's going to be George Russell?
Nope.
How is that possible? How do you think it's not George?
Nope.
I mean, 2023 as well is just going to be a year where a lot of people are going to be free agents too. So that makes sense to sign up to 2023, because it become, for both the teams and for Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, because it's going to be an open market. So obviously they could use that to negotiate against him.
Yeah, your hand's open too when you touch the microphone too.
My bad.
I
think
think
Max is going to be up that
George
year. I
Russell.
think Leclerc's going to be up that year as well.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a couple of people out there that.
but I don't think it's going to be George Russell.
So who's it going to be?
Oh no, for the second seed.
Bottas. Listen, when Lewis Hamilton was asked about this during a press conference, I think it was last week,
Okay.
he spoke glowingly of Bottas. That is, he's been his best teammate so far. The team has a harmonious feel to it, and they've obviously won multiple championships with those two driving. And he obviously still has a bad taste in his mouth for the
Nico
Rosberg
Rosberg, yeah.
years.
Okay.
It only behooves Mercedes to keep that dynamic going in order for them to be successful, especially now that you do have a legitimate contender in Red Bull, and the rules are changing next year, so you don't know who else might jump into the fray, because you have McLaren and you also have Ferrari getting better. So for you to throw a wrench in the form of George Russell, I think you're going to make it a contentious driver relationship between the two drivers. I've always said this, so I don't think it's a good idea.
So poor George.
Yeah,
Where's he
basically. I mean, listen, he's
Gotta sit
driving his
tight.
lights out,
go? Yeah.
but Bottas ain't driving bad either. So
He's not driving well either. So that's I was not prepared to talk about this, but based on the performance that we're getting, obviously this weekend notwithstanding from Perez, you see why that second teammate doing well and contending for the top of the Drivers' Championship is important for a top team.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that Hamilton is the reigning world champion several times over, and that he is I'll call it the catalyst of the team, and especially the face of the team on the track. But you're focused, if you're Toto Wolff, you're focused on not just that aspect, but you need the Constructors' Championship too. That's where you really get your money. The Drivers' Championship doesn't award the prize money; it's the Constructors.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if Russell could prove to be a better driver, which we really haven't seen, we can't really judge from just a secure Grand Prix. If he could prove to be a better driver than Bottas, I think you got to make that move.
And George is nipping at the heels. but I don't think he will.
Well, he's driving and he deserves to have it. So.
Absolutely. But, I mean, like I said, Bottas isn't driving terrible either. His last 3 finishes have been 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. Perez 3rd, 4th, and 6th. So, it's very comparable as far as you compared the second drivers for the top 2 teams.
You're right on that.
Okay.
What was it? Okay.
No, so my whole thing is that I get what you're saying, but yeah, it would be a very different discussion right now if Mercedes had been able to execute that pit stop in Monaco and Bottas finishes second and is plus 18 points.
Yeah.
Because he'd be at 110, he'd be a clear 3rd place right now ahead of Sergio Perez.
Right.
So
and we can all agree that Bottas has probably been one of the most unluckiest drivers on the grid, not only this year, but the past few years as well.
Yeah, he always has the worst pit stops. Obviously, no fault of his own. Or sometimes they try to blame him.
Yeah, which is not fair. Or he gets a tire blowout when he's about to win a race.
Oh, my God.
I mean, again, it's just a lot of different things. Yeah, he has his bad race every once in a while, but for the most part, Bottas is pretty consistent. And a good second driver. Not a good number 1 driver, but he's a good second driver.
All right, moving on.